Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to Tuesday. Yes, the long weekend is over in the US. We are here July the 5th, 2022, and I am live from Zermatt in Switzerland. Jen and I have not left Zermatt. We're having too much fun here. We're enjoying this place too much to go elsewhere. And so we've hung out for the rest of this week, and we're enjoying it very much, and it's all good. I welcome one and all to Stock Markets with Bruce. Great to have you here. Here's where we try to talk about the markets in plain English, and we talk a lot about writing stock options on stocks you already own or you could own to make added money in a bear market. And I got to tell you, this last couple of weeks, last couple of months going forward, option writers rule. If you're an option writer, you're going to make a lot of money, and you just got to know what you're doing, how to do it, and stick around with this group of people over here. Become a member of this channel, become a Gold Bagel member or a regular member, and you can make comments here and ask these folks questions about writing options and comparing notes and stuff. And or head to my website, stockmarkerswithbruce.ca. Check out the classes there. Learn how to write options, and we will guide you through ways to enhance your earnings from the markets. Because I can tell you right now, kids, here's what's going on and what's going to happen. All right. You want the future? I'll tell you the future. There are a whole bunch of stock analysts this morning coming out now that the long weekend is over, and they are downgrading stock after stock after stock after stock. I mean, just one after the other. They are calling lower targets, price targets for some of their favorite stocks that they're following, whether it's transportation, whether it's high tech chips, whether it's retail, manufacturing, it doesn't matter. They're just lowering price targets everywhere. And for option writers, you couldn't be more happy. You couldn't be more happy, because if you're going to be a shareholder long-term of Apple anyway, or you're going to be a long-term holder of GameStop, or you want to hold on to HPQ, Hewlett Packard, Pfizer, or any other stock, you're not going to sell just because an analyst has downgraded the stock or given it a lower price target. No, you don't care. What you're after, since you're holding this stuff anyway, for now, a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, 5 years from now, you might as well be paid in the meantime to hold this stock in your account. And one way to get paid handsomely is to offer options on your shares. Let the gamblers on the casino floor over there, maybe over there. Yeah, those guys, let those guys over there gamble on the movement of your stock. And I can tell you that 95% of them want to gamble one way. They think shares go from here to here. They think they always go up. And let them gamble ahead on what your shares could do in the next 1 to 3 weeks, because that's all you're giving them. You're not giving them 6 years of time or a 2-year window or a 8-month window on a future. You're giving them really short-term option contracts that depreciate dramatically in the last 3 weeks of their life. And you're going to say, hey, I'll tell you what, I'll sell you an option on my stock. Sure, you want to gamble on the upside of my stock? Here you go. You can give me X amount of cash per share up front, and I'll buy the contract back from you at the very end if no one else will. But it'll be for a much lower price. But hey, you know what? If Apple shares go from 130 something to 160 something in the next week, hey, you could make a lot of money off of me or off of anyone in the option market. I'm just guessing that that's really not going to happen. I think the Apple shares are going to be kind of where they are now. They might be $1 or $2 higher than where they are now. They might be a couple of bucks lower than where they are now. But in any of those instances, I, the option writer, will buy back your option, or I'll buy back the option I've written, from someone else. I'll buy back the option for a whole lot less money, and that means the difference is yours to keep. And if you can bring in $3.50 premium on a contract that lasts 2 or 3 weeks, and you can buy it back for 50 cents, and you make $3 a share for a week or so of your time or less, on one contract, that's $300. That's 100 shares, $300 in your pocket net. You're writing 5 contracts, that's $1,500. Thank you for the 1 or 2 weeks of time that it took me to make this $1,500. I really appreciate it. Let's rinse and repeat and do this again and again and again for the foreseeable future. You're going to be making a ton of cash. About an hour ago, the markets were down slightly. And it looked like, oh, yeah, we might be down like 0.4 of 1% on the Dow. Nothing too serious. We're off 300 points right now on the Dow, 1% lower. We're off 38 points on S&P, 1% lower. And we're off 138 points on NASDAQ, 1.2% lower. The losses are getting worse. They're accelerating faster, or at least they're going lower. So we are drifting lower for the opening of this market after a down week last week with an up day Friday. We seem to be wanting to give it all back and more. And we're showing oil up, by the way, 39 cents a barrel. We are getting all kinds of news coming out across the wires about interest rate concerns, inflation concerns, supply chain issues, and now more and more stories about natural gas crises in Europe, oil issues in Europe, sort of, but it's natural gas. That's the big one. The war in Ukraine and the difficulties with Western countries dealing with the Russians is creating all kinds of havoc in the energy market. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's creating issues in the food market as well. And so we've got these inflationary concerns going all over the place. But the thinking here, from what I can read right now, is that economies in North America and in Europe might be slowing down faster than had been previously thought, which on one hand, some folks are going, well, that's good because that means inflation is going to be under control. But it's bad, others are saying, because that means we're going to a recession, if not already in it. We're already we're already contracting our growth into a negative growth factor right now for our economies. We're already in a recession. And maybe the market is overpriced. Maybe even after 30% drops in the stock market, 25% drops, whatever, we haven't dropped enough. So you got two sides to the argument here. You got some saying we need to drop more. Others are saying we've dropped as far as we're going to go. And others are saying we've dropped too much, because what we don't have is rampant unemployment. We don't have rampant unemployment globally. We don't have it, especially where it counts: America, Canada, UK, Europe. Unemployment numbers are rather low. And most of the folks who could have been laid off would have been laid off 2 years ago. They found work at home, or they found work elsewhere. There's a lot of gig workers now working full time that didn't exist as gig workers 1 or 2 or 3 years ago. So without a massive number of people standing in the unemployment lines like we used to see back in the 80s, which, by the way, doesn't happen anymore. It's all digital unemployment. People are unemployed, but they're digitally doing their unemployment claims. Without massive unemployment, we still have an economy that needs to keep functioning. We have people who need to buy electricity. They need to buy gas for their cars, or they need to get around, trains, planes, what have you. They need office supplies. They need to travel to do some business. They're doing business via Zoom call instead of a plane ride and a cab ride to an office somewhere, and a hotel stay, and so on and so on and so on. Business has changed, and the economy has completely changed. And the economy today, and I should say it this way, I guess, economists today and financial analysts today are having trouble figuring out, well, if people aren't flying as much, does that mean we're in a recession? And other analysts are going, no, it just means that they're doing business with their business counterparts in another city, state, or country through this right here: camera on a computer. Folks are talking to each other and doing business on Zoom calls, this kind of thing, rather than physically traveling to meet. Well, is that good or bad for business? Well, it depends on whose business you're talking about. If I don't have to travel for a business trip to the UK from, say, the USA, that means I don't have to worry about getting an Uber ride or a cab ride to the airport at home. I don't have to get on an airplane, which means I don't need an airplane ticket. I don't need a cab ride or Uber ride or whatever from London to wherever I'm staying in London. I'm likely not going to get a hotel because I would have stayed at least one night or two in London for this meeting. I'm not doing business lunches. I'm not doing dinners. And the meeting that I am doing, I'm not taking a cab to it and a cab back from it. And then coming back to the airport in London, and then coming back home, and then from home back to my house. All those expenses I am not spending. So for me, it's okay because I didn't have to leave my house to conduct a meeting in London. I did a Zoom presentation to either myself and the one contemporary I'm meeting with, or I met in front of 4, 5, or 10 people, or my team in home office. We all remotely got together to meet the team remotely in Europe. And we all did not spend a bunch of money to make this happen. Well, that's good for us as team members and as corporate travelers that are not traveling. I'm spending a whole lot less money to do my business. And the counterparty, the group in London that I'm talking to, they're not upset that I didn't come over. They're not disappointed. They're actually quite used to it. Like, this is the new normal, because they don't come over to the US and see us. They do the Zoom meetings this way. As a matter of fact, it might even be happening that I am in front of my business associate more often because of Zoom than less often because we used to only see each other once every 3 or 6 months. He'd come over or she'd come over, I'd come over each way once every 3 months or so. Now we don't do that. We just do this. And so for our businesses, our costs have gone way down, which improved our margins, which means we don't actually need as much in gross sales or in net profits to make just as much money as we did last year, because we're not flying and putting up dozens of employees a year on each side of this a business arrangement to get business done. We're doing business from our bases. Now, you're the airline, you're the hotel, you're the cab operator, you're an Uber driver, you're a restaurant. You guys are getting crushed. You guys are getting crushed because business travelers that used to travel sometimes in business class or first class, or would stay at the nice business hotel, or would take clients out for a lovely dinner after a presentation at the nicest restaurants. These dollars aren't being spent on all of these venues in London and or New York or anywhere in the USA or anywhere in the UK, anywhere in Europe, anywhere in the world. This is not happening like it used to happen. And it doesn't appear like it's going back to where it used to happen in the past. It's just not going there. It's partially recovering, but not totally recovering. And so the analysts are going, well, yeah, okay, the airline numbers are kind of iffy. The casual leisure traveler from, say, Boston to Miami, yeah, they're going down to Miami Beach, or they're going down to Orlando. The traveler from Seattle to Disneyland, the mom and dad and kids, yeah, they're doing that. But the mom or the dad for business are not traveling Seattle to New York, or Miami to London, or Frankfurt to Toronto. These business trips aren't happening as they were before. And so we're having a tough time figuring out whether this is a recession. Is this an economic slowdown? Or is this a new economy, a new, completely different economy than we've ever seen before? And it's going to be like this going forward, because if company number one can make it work economically without spending millions of dollars a year on dozens and dozens and dozens of executives flying all over the world to do business, they can just stay in their offices or in their home offices to do this business. And company two does spend the money to send people all over the place. Is one a winner and one a loser? Or are they both winners? Or is one way more profitable than the other? I have to think personally that if a corporation does not send hundreds of people all over the world for thousands of business trips a year in person, and they can do it all through this kind of interaction, I got to think that that is way more cost effective for the corporation. And the other thing I'm thinking about is the obligation of the other party to do their traveling has been eliminated. They've got to be figuring, hey, this is better for our business as well, our bottom line. It's way cheaper for us to do it this way too. I wonder if maybe we are seeing a pullback in economic activity in certain parts of our economy. But in reality, this is the new normal. This isn't a recession. This isn't a pullback. This is just the way it's going to be now. And maybe we only get a 1/3 recovery in business travel from what we used to have, because the human resources people and the VPs and the sales reps and all these folks are going, I'm not interested in getting on, the salespeople in particular, I'm not interested in getting on a plane, leaving home for 3 days from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, getting home on a Thursday, bagged, dog tired, fed up with all the crap at the airports that I have to go through, all the security crap, the delays, the unruly passengers. If I'm stuck in economy because my boss is forcing me into the back of the plane, there are people who are going to say, forget it. I don't want this job. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not interested. And the new normal is employers are going to say to their employees, well, if you can get the contract for this job that we're bidding on, and you don't have to get in an airplane to get it, why am I, the boss, complaining about this? We, the corporation, have got to be deliriously happy because the cost of getting this contract has just gone down. And we can be more cost competitive on the bidding process to get these contracts. And that might be the other new normal that we're beginning to see, that companies are having to shave their gross prices down to get the business, because competitors are also not sending their employees on these long trips, and their costs have dropped, which means they can pass the quote savings on to the client in the form of a lower offer for the contract to get the bid in there. This might be the new normal. And yet old school economists, and there's nothing wrong with these guys because it's not their fault that this is happening. Old school economists are doing the hard math and are going, money isn't being spent like before. Companies are clawing back, and they could be right. But on the other hand, the new school economists going, they're not clawing back. They figured out how to do business at a lower cost profile and a more efficient profile, because a sales executive that used to get on a plane from Detroit to Cincinnati to Pittsburgh to Denver to Seattle to LA and back home all in a week, used to do all those flights and meetings. They do those now in 2 days from their home office. They can actually do double the number of presentations in a week, and they can do it globally. They can do further apart from the office business, like Maine to Southern California or New York to Hawaii. I can do business between those two spots without having to fly 7 or 8 hours to get there and back. This is way more efficient business for everyone. And it's the new way of doing it. And so the new economist is saying to the old economist, no, the companies are still doing their business. They're just doing it in a different manner, in a different way. And the dollars have completely changed. And maybe that's a good thing. Carbon footprint could be good too. Fewer people traveling in jet planes to do business meetings, 2-hour meeting and then come all the way back. All that fuel used to get that person there and back, not necessary anymore. That is better for the environment. got to be cheaper for companies, more efficient for companies, got to be adding to the bottom line and allowing corporations to say, gee, we don't need we used to have 500 people a year travel. We're down to 50 people a year traveling. We used to have 10 people at head office count the money that these guys were spending and and pay for all these expenses and figure out overcharges and everything. We don't have that anymore. We can literally let people go from certain departments that don't have to monitor all this traveling expense anymore because we don't have it anymore. Companies are getting leaner and meaner. This is a good thing for corporations, maybe not for people, but corporations. And of course, the bean counters that used to be in the office that were in charge of all these expenditures, they're not at the office anymore. They're working from home. They too are from home. And could well be that you had an auditor type person, a bookkeeping type person that was a full timer, and you've laid them off to 15 hours a week. You've told them, I don't have as much work for you anymore, but I still want you on a retainer. I'll pay you 15 hours a week, whether I work for you or not, but I do have 15 hours of work for you a week. This individual goes, great, no problem. I'll work for you for 15 hours. I got another client over here that wants 15 hours. That's 30. And I got another one over there that wants 10. I got my 40 hours a week. I got 3 different employers. I'm charging a flat rate per hour, which is more than what I used to get paid as an in-house guy or girl. I'm happy too. And around and on we go. The cycle continues. Interesting stuff. Are we in a recession? Are we headed for a recession? Hard to say. It might be that big, huge, dramatic, massive in-house IT departments might be being replaced by smaller in-house systems with more remote locations for these employees around the world. And at home, it used to be that you just have a computer at your house to do your work on. Now your employer is providing you with a computer or a budget to get your own machine to link into the system at the office from remote to do your work for us, with us. And that's changing things as well. I wonder how this is all going. We're down 322 on the Dow. We're down 41 on S&P. We're down 138 on NASDAQ. Those traveling salespeople that used to travel in their own cars to meetings, you're in Atlanta and your territory is Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, Louisiana, or you're in Pittsburgh and your turf is Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, part of New York State. You used to drive to all your meetings, and you still moteled it, hotel or moteled it in various towns and cities, and you'd be gone for 3-4 days a week doing meetings. All that is gone. You're now doing all of that from your house, remote, with the people that on the other side that have been designated to deal with your corporation. And you're doing these meetings at the convenience of the two of you, which you set up through emails. And the session is had. It's a 1-hour session, 40-minute session, whatever it is. It might be 3 team members and 2 team members or 5. All folks are at remote locations. No one is at the offices. Everyone is remote. It's changed everything. Well, that's bad news for General Motors and Ford and Chrysler and all the car companies. It's bad news for the tire companies because tires aren't getting worn out. Bad news for the brake companies. Bad news for the oil and gas companies. Bad news for the hotel motel operators, whether it's Holiday Inn Express or Marriott or Hilton or whomever. Bad for the restaurants that you used to frequent all the time, whether they are fast food restaurants or taking clients out for dinner, and vice versa, being taken out to dinner or going out for lunch, what have you. Yeah, all bad news for that sector of the economy, but all good news for your corporation and the corporation you're dealing with, because cost of business has just gone down and the efficiency rate has just gone up. This salesperson that used to travel in the car would get 6 meetings in a week, 4 meetings in a week, 3 meetings in a week, whatever it was, is now getting in way more meetings in a week and is constantly in touch with their counterparts on an ongoing basis. This is a whole new existence. Is that a recession, or is that the new normal? Mm, I wonder. I really do wonder about this. It's fascinating to think about, and I never thought that in only 2022 we would be to this level. Because what I'm talking to you about today, I think, should have been a 2030 to 2035 thing. And it would have come along gradually. It would have come along, and some companies would have held back, and some would have been early adopters to this, and others would have thought about it. But this has come on to us like a tidal wave. We just got slammed with this thing in the last 2 years. It's not going away. I wonder how this is all going to work out. I'm curious about all this interesting world in which we live that's evolving quickly here. Unbelievable. You folks that are option writers, I got good news for you. You're going to make money this week. You're going to make money next week. You're going to make money next month. You're going to make money for the rest of the year, because these stocks are there might be recoveries in some of these markets here and there, but even with that, you will still make money writing options on stocks that you like to follow. I'm really excited for you. I'm sorry to see the Dow down to 332 points. No one likes that, because what does that mean? Every one of you that are here that write options now, whether it's casually, it's occasionally, or it's like your thing, you've now made this the core of your being. And I congratulate you if you have. All of you know someone, or more than one person. You might all know many people, family members, former coworkers, existing friends, pals, anything. You all know of folks who are getting shellacked by the stock market. You are hearing it, whether you're at a family picnic. Some of you got together July 4th with family and friends. You heard the word from, Uncle so-and-so told you that cousin such and such, they're down 30% in the market because, their statements look terrible. You are hearing this all over the place, and it's not going away. You're going to get more of this kind of news. And those of you who are writing options are likely not doing as badly as they are. Some of you are actually ahead. You're making more money in this market. You can't believe how well your account is doing. Others of you are going, I'm down on my market. My stock portfolio is lower. Yeah, but it's not as bad as some of these horror stories I'm hearing about. I mean, I'm hearing people who are like down 30, 40, 50%, depending on what sector they invested in. Some folks are into ETFs that are just getting crushed, where many of these folks out there are into all kinds of different investments, and it's all just lower, and it doesn't look like it's going to come on. Where a bunch of you option writers are going, that's not happening here. I'm bringing cash in the front door, baby. And I'm paying my bills with this stuff. I am knocking my debt down as rates are going up. I'm not getting caught in this interest rate acceleration program that's going on. I'm not getting caught in this inflation thing that's catching me off guard, where every 2 weeks I get a paycheck and it's getting destroyed by higher interest costs on debt that I have and higher inflation costs on stuff I need to buy. I have a new friend. I have this friend called the options market that's just bringing me cash, and it is more than offsetting all of this stuff. And because I am knocking down the debt I have, I'm not just satisfying the banker with the interest and payments I'm making. No. I'm paying off debt. I'm getting rid of credit card debt. I'm getting rid of an old car loan. I am knocking down my debt loads, which means my obligations to my bankers are also falling off. And my cost of living on a month-to-month basis is actually dropping, because this cash coming in from writing stock options is helping me to reduce my cost of living, so that my paycheck every 2 weeks that I keep, there's more of that left over every 2 weeks than 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. This is what's happening here on this channel by the folks who watch us religiously as we're watching these markets perform the way they are. What can I say? If it's working for you, I'm a happy guy. If it hasn't worked for you yet, keep working at it. Check my classes out. Well, there's 13 of them. Figure out what it is you're not doing right or what isn't working for you. Make your adjustments. If you need one-on-one consultation with me to have a one-on-one chat where I'm over here on the camera, you're over here on camera, we're here for at least an hour having a chat about your account and your situation. We'll figure it out together to get your option writing technique on the right track to make you the capital you should be getting. And if I am any way can help you become self-employed, where you can say goodbye to your day job and you are only writing stock options as your form of income, I couldn't be more thrilled. I'm the liberation that can give you is just overpowering. To be your own boss, and you are literally your own administrator of your own account. There are people out there, and I know them very well. I've known them over the years. And again, you might be one of these people I'm going to describe, or you know of someone who's I'm going to describe a person, and you're going to go, oh yeah, I know who he's talking about. It's a buddy of mine or a friend of mine or a relative of mine. There are people out there who have accounts that are being administered by financial folks whose job it is to enhance your wealth. Organizations usually is what these are, not necessarily individual people. Unless you have a substantial portfolio, you probably do not have a single financial advisor that you rely on. Some of you might, but it's a minority, a true minority. Most of you out there, or most of the people I refer to out there who have financial assistance are dealing with entities, and they're advertising on the internet, they're advertising on my channel, they're advertising on TV. You cannot escape these outfits. They are trying to get you to send your dollars to their entity so they can administer your funds for you. These outfits will charge you fees that are buried inside your returns, anywhere from probably a minimum 1.5%, but I can't imagine anything that low, probably as high as 4 or 5% a year on the value of your portfolio. And so you may know of someone out there who has $300,000 in the market through their IRAs or their 401ks or whatever savings, and they've got the dough with this company or that company or that company. And it might be a collection of ETFs and mutual funds and all kinds of other entities. And what they get is a statement, or they get an email link to their account that they can look up anytime they want. And every month and every quarter and every year, they get their returns shown to them, how they're doing. And it's net returns. It's net. How is it after everything? This is where you're at. And there are folks who are out there, unfortunately, who really want to grow their portfolio up for retirement. They're now in their 30s, or 40s, or 50s, or older, and they're looking for this pot of cash that they've amassed, these assets they've amassed, to now grow to the point where they reach 55, 60, 65, so they can put their feet up and go, okay, I don't have to go to work anymore, and I'm retired now. I now am self-sufficient with my Social Security and my partner's Social Security, my wife, husband, partner. With all that coming in and real estate we have and all our assets, we now should be financially reliant on our own. And what's happened in the last several years and what will continue to happen, and with this market going on, we have got millions of people, I'm thinking tens of millions of people around the world, who have realized in the last few months, oh my God, all the gains I've made for the last 8-10 years have been wiped out with this market that we've had in the last 6 months alone. What they don't know is that going forward from now forward, a year, 2, 5, 10, they will continue to pay fees to these entities as they recover their money, which means that the recovery isn't going to be as fast as the recovery actually could be. It will be dented. It will be muffled. It's because they're carrying the organization that is managing all of their money. And this is a killer for anyone in their 50s now, because between now and your 50s and 60s, you should be generating the most money you could possibly generate from your assets to get you to that finish line. Because when you started investing as a 25-year-old, 30-year-old, 35-year-old with the organization you were with, the company, whatever, they would show you charts that if you put so much money away every month, in 20 years, it will be worth this much money. Well, the final 5 years of that 20-year plan, or the final 10 years of the 25-year plan, is where all the compounding interest and dividend money and profits were coming from to take you above the survival line. And if you're in your 40s and 50s now, and 60s and older, you're in trouble right now, because in the last 6 months, you guys have seen destruction of wealth on an epic scale. We've heard $10 to $20 trillion of assets disappear all over the place globally because of market pullbacks. And here we are, as we are right now. I'm showing you down 372 on the Dow with 24 minutes to go this morning. Again, we're down again. And what I'm trying to get at here is, if you take control of your investments, if you are truly willing to do it, and it's a leap. For some of you, it's terrifying. I get it. You have no other choice in some cases. There are some of you out there who have no choice, but you have got to take control of your wealth and control it yourself. You've got to figure out how and what to do with your wealth. You've got to get away from the so-called manager that is taking off the top the first 3 to 5% that you generate, so that you net out 3 to 5% after it's all said and done. You cannot retire on 3 to 5% gains going forward for the next 3, 5, 10 years, because you're already off 30% this year. Don't forget, your manager is taking cuts off the top even as your account goes down. It's compounding your loss. And so I come back to this: controlling your own dough, learning conservative management techniques like writing options against your portfolio to enhance revenues. It's just that simple. You can buy IBM stock right now on the open if you want. If you do buy IBM stock on the open market, I believe the yield on the stock, it's pretty good. It'll probably generate you. Let's see here, IBM. Let's see if I can get my computer to act here and wake it up. Come on. Yeah, the yield right now is 4.68%. That's the dividend you're going to get if you buy IBM stock. There's nothing wrong with 4.68%. The problem is, if you get 4.68% in your portfolio that's being managed by somebody, and they take 2% off the top for a management fee, you're getting 2.68% on your IBM. Well, what did they do to earn 2% fee on a dividend payout like this? Well, nothing. They're just managing millions and millions of dollars for tons of clients, if not, $1 billion or so. If you manage it yourself, you've got the IBM in an account that can be handled on something called an iPhone, smartphone. You don't pay the 2% handling fee to anyone to handle your money for you. The IBM is in your account. You're getting your dividend, and that's it. On the other hand, if you're bringing in 4.6 odd % yield on IBM, and now you're beginning to write options on 100 shares of IBM, or 200 or 300, however many you have, you learn how to do that through, say, my classes. My guess is that you could likely haul in 1 to 2% a month in additional income from option writing by writing options on your IBM. If it's 1% a month and you're getting 4.68% a year on your yield, you're now bringing in 16.4% on your 100 shares of IBM, or 200 or 5, again, whatever it is. And this can be on any other stock you have. I'm using IBM as an example because it has a dividend of some significance. But if you can bring in 16.5% on your wealth on your cash value of your IBM stock instead of 4 point something, less the management fee that you're being assessed by doing it yourself, all of a sudden you might sit back and go, wait a minute, Mr. B, Uncle Bruce, wait a second here. If I have 500 shares of IBM in my account, or I get 500 shares of IBM, this is 140. If I shift my assets around and I buy 500 IBM and I'm writing 5 contracts on my IBM stock, 100 shares per contract, and I can bring in 16% on a $140 stock, are you telling me I can bring in over $20 a year in return in cash from IBM? I'm saying yes, you can. You can bring in $20 a share or more in cash from your IBM stock per year on your own. What do you have to do to get that kind of money is what you're asking. Well, there are 13 lessons you should watch on my website. It's the first thing to do. Get educated over there. Second, hang around here with us and listen to the folks over here talk about options that they write, how they write options, how they buy them back. You're going to become fluent in how options work. And you're going to go, wow, if I've got 500 shares and they're bringing in $20 a piece, I can make some money doing this. Yes, you can. You can make some very good money doing this, and you can compound it because, of course, as you pile up more cash, you buy more stock, you write more options, and you get more dividends. Of course, for every share you have, you get a dividend, and you're going to grow your value, your net worth very, very quickly. And you're getting to get to the point where you're going to realize, well, I don't need $1 million to be self-employed. I could be self-employed with $100,000. I could be just full-time doing what in front of this computer with this guy, this homeless Canadian, following the options market. Yes, you can. And you have to want it bad enough to want to do it. And a number of the folks who are here now, right this second, have made this move already. And I talk to them all the time. And they're telling me that the change has been profound. Whether it's a couple of thousand a month coming in, that they never thought they could bring in a couple of $1,000 a month from just this stock I've had for years. I can't believe I can bring in a couple of $1,000 a month by doing almost nothing. I still keep my day job. I'm still working. To others who are saying, I had no idea that the amount of stock I had in this company, or by shifting my this asset to this asset and buying this stock to this stock, I can now write options on this stuff. This replaces my day job. More money coming in from options than I make full time. This is what's been happening here in the last year. And I welcome you to the party. You have to check it out yourself. You can't just believe me. You can listen to the folks here, read what they say, and or, as I suggest, for $100, you can start my classes that I in front of a live audience. These people right here, by the way, it's the same audience. These folks are the ones who were in the class. You can watch the classes that I did with these people here at $100 a class whenever you want. They're 2 hours long each, give or take. And you can decide for yourself whether these folks were asking the right questions and whether these folks get it or not. And then you quickly figure out, oh my God, they're onto something. And we haven't invented anything new. This isn't like, oh, it's a new formula. There's a new way to make money in the market. It's never been done before. No, I'm talking about something that's been around since the 70s. I'm talking about a strategy in the market that all mutual funds use, all pension funds use, all ETFs use, all hedge funds use this. Insurance companies, major banks, it's in the currency business, it's in the commodities business, it's in bonds, stocks, everywhere. This is not new. It's existing globally and has for decades. What I'm talking about is retail investors like yourself with maybe 100 shares of Hewlett Packard. HPQ is the symbol. It's a $32 stock. $3,200 is what you're going to need to buy 100 shares of HPQ. You can write an option on HPQ with only $3,200 worth of stock in your hands. There are hedge funds with 1 million shares of HPQ writing thousands of contracts at a time on that side. You can do it with one. And that's how you can decide whether, does this work for me? I don't want to risk my entire portfolio to try to write options. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'll watch his classes. I'll listen to this guy. I'll read these folks' comments. I'll become a member of his channel and I'll start asking them on the air what they think of this, that, and other thing. And I'll try it with 100 shares. $3,200. Give it a shot. And maybe you buy 100 shares of Pfizer for $50-something. That's a $5,000 investment. Maybe you then graduate and you try to buy 100 shares of Apple at 130-something bucks. All up to you. It's totally up to how much money you want to put into this. You might decide, you know what, Bruce, I really like writing options on Hewlett Packard. I really like it. I'm just going to buy 200 shares, and then I'm going to buy 300. Then I'm going to buy 400. I'll write 3 options, 4 options, 5 options, 6 at a time. I kind of like that class you did about poor man covered calls, where I don't even have to buy shares of Hewlett Packard. All I need to do is buy a call option of Hewlett Packard that is deep in the money, good for 6 months from now. And that's way less than the cost of the stock itself. And I can then write options on the option. I love this. Again, it is your awareness and your education. It's in your hands. You have to decide if you want it. Go and get it. Take these classes one at a time. You can watch it as many times as you like. And after 1 or 2 classes, you might go, this isn't for me. I've spent a couple $100 on this classes and I just don't like it, or I just don't get it, or I don't believe it, or I'm just not so sure. I need time to think about this. There is none of this nonsense where I say to you, well, for only $4,550, you can learn all about doing it. I don't do that. We have classes. There's 13 of them. They're $100 a piece. It'll take you 26 hours to watch them all. You can't do that in a day. There are only 24 hours in the day. This will take you weeks. You have to really want to get into this. It's like a college course you're going to have to take in writing options. And you know what? It might be worth your time to spend a few months to figure out how to handle your assets correctly. Because what are you trying to do? You might be trying to replace an existing manager of your estate, of your assets, someone that you're paying, don't even know, 2 to 5% a year on the value of your account. You want to replace that person? You have $300,000 that's costing you 5% to be managed. That's $15,000 a year you're paying now to someone to manage your money. I'm saying to you, $1,300, you've taken all my classes. By the time you've done that, you've watched enough of these folks and me to get a pretty good handle on whether this is for you or not. You haven't fired your manager yet. You've still got them going. That's going to take you 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, 6 weeks. How fast you want it, it's up to you. If it takes you half a year for you to become confident enough to now take over your own account and say goodbye to your manager, shift your funds over to your own account elsewhere under your own administration, and eliminate those fees out of your life. You've given them $7,500 for the last time, half a year, $15,000 a year, and now you do not pay this 5% a year or $1,250 a month anymore to somebody else. This $1,250 a month now stays in your account that you're managing and that you're controlling. And yeah, you'll have some commissions to buy and sell stock and options. Yeah, sure. But it isn't going to be $1,250. You've already got a $1,250 a month head start on a better manager than the manager you've replaced, because you're not paying that person any longer. Now you decide what you're holding and how you're going to hold it and how you're going to administer it. And if you're any good at all, and there's folks here who had no idea how good they would be being option writers, you're going to shock yourself and go, my God, I'm making 2% a month of my money just writing options. So that's $6,000 a month I'm bringing in. And I'm not paying $1,250 a month for it. That actually means I used to have to generate $7,250 to get this. Whoa, I'm making money here. If I can generate 3% a month on my money, that's $9,000 a month. Why am I working? That's going to be your next question, because you're going, I don't make $9,000 a month, or my wife doesn't make $9,000 a month, or I have and a wife has a part-time job. Why don't we get rid of the part-time jobs? And I'll just keep my full-time job, which is from home, and we'll bring in this 9,000 a month. I have the full-time job, and we're watching the markets together, and we're writing options, and we're learning how this is done. Hello. Might be time to take control of your life and do it this way. Again, I can't make you do it. I'm not going to make you do it. It's your call to do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. If you're looking for me to give you a single tip that will take you from taking $100 and putting it on a stock, and next week it's going to be worth $20,000, you come to the wrong channel, because I don't have those tips. I don't know anybody that has those tips. I know guys who say they do have those ideas, but I've never seen it happen in real life. The option market, there are two players in the option market. There's the person who buys the options. And if you go out onto YouTube and you enter the word stock options, you're going to get gazillions of results of places you can go. If you want to find people who talk to you about investing in stock options, there are a gazillion places to go to talk about investing in stock options. And then there's the other person. And the other person is, on the one side is the buyer. There's the other person, the person who sells the option, creates the option writer. For every gambler out there, there has to be someone to offer them the gamble. It's like being in Vegas. One person wants to put money in a slot machine. The other person owns the slot machine. You, by being here, are the slot machine owner. That's what I'm turning you into. You own the slot machine. Might be 1, might be 5, might be 20, but you are the casino, and you're the one bringing in the cash and paying out cash to the gamblers at the end of their session. And at the end of their session, they might not get any of their dough. Have you ever been to Vegas and put in $20 in a slot machine and turned it into nothing in about half an hour, 5 minutes, 5 pulls? I know, you know. Yes, that can be done. In the options market, gamblers will gamble with money that they're prepared to lose, all of it. And that's the first rule of option investing. If you buy a stock option in any stock, you are risking only what you put up for as long as you want to play the game on that option. If the option has 5 weeks to live, in 5 weeks, it could be worth nothing, could be worth partially what you paid for it, or more than you paid for. That's the rule. That's the deal. But the first rule, the first thing you have to understand is, if you are everything you're putting up, but only what you're putting up as an investment. If you're the writer, you're bringing in that cash, and you at any time as an option writer can buy back another option to negate this option, to put you at zero anytime you want. And it can be in a minute, it can be in an hour, it can be in a day, it can be whenever, right up to the last minute the contract exists. And or you could, in theory, sell a contract that has 2 weeks to go, receive $400 for it, and at the end of that 2-week time frame, it has zero value, and you don't ever buy it back. You keep all $400, the option expires, it's gone, and the next day you come back to the market and you write a new contract for another 2 weeks, and you bring in another $400. And you could rinse and repeat that game all you want, or you can sell the contract for $400 on a Monday, and on Tuesday morning buy that contract back for $500 and lose $100, or buy back for $300 and make $100, or do nothing and wait for the contract to settle out where you want it to be before you buy it back, if you ever buy it back. Option writers have every option available, every choice available to them anytime they want to go with it. You got to learn how this works. And that's what these folks have done here. Join these folks here. I think you'll have a good time. I think you'll enjoy making money with them. But it's your call whenever you're ready to take the step to learn how this works. This is the only channel where we talk about writing options almost exclusively. We talk about writing options all the time. And this bear market is tailor-made for option writers. Absolutely tailor-made. And I welcome all of you to the channel, the show. Hope you don't mind the long intro to this. I cannot tell you how exciting it is and how gratifying it is to talk to my viewers one-on-one whenever you want. If you want to ever have a 1-hour session with me privately, can be arranged. It costs you $400 to talk to me for an hour, but it's me on camera here, you on camera there. But I can pretty well tell you that within the hour, certainly, you will find at the end of the hour, you go, oh, I learned a lot more than $400 worth of stuff today. And that's why viewers keep asking me for one-on-ones. But it's up to you if you ever want to do one. And I'd love to have you as a member of this channel, as a fellow participant here on our chats. And of course, if you're going to watch the classes or one-on-ones, love to have you. Thank you all so much for being with me today. It's great that you're here, and I so appreciate it. I've got to get ready for the opening. We're opening in 4 minutes. Holy moly macaroni. It's going to happen. This is exciting stuff. And we're just going to double check here and get everything set up for the show. I want to say thanks, everybody, for popping in here. Got a good crowd going already. Nice to have you joining us. And again, those of you who have become subscribers to this channel, members to this channel, and more, I thank you. I really do. Jennifer and I were in Zermatt, Switzerland. I am on the road. What kind of gig is this? A YouTuber that is right now on holidays in Zermatt, Switzerland. You can't beat this. This is pretty good stuff. We are loving every minute of it. I've got to go right here. Just 1 second. I got to make a quick adjustment to my channel right now. We are going to get this done right here. Okay. With a couple of minutes to go, we're setting up our chat now for members only. Membership has its privileges. All comments during market hours are for members. And if you'd like to become a member, please follow the join link. Find the join link on this channel. Shouldn't be too hard to figure that out. And become a member today and join the gang. We'd love to have you here. And thank you so much. Those of you who've been giving me thumbs ups while I've been ranting, thank you. We have 110 thumbs ups already on this channel. I've barely got things going. Obviously, we have some kind of troll here somewhere, obviously. And what can I say? We get these from time to time. This is one of the reasons why we really try to go with members only, because we get these trolls from time to time. We've got nothing better to do, and they're just disruptors, and they have to be dealt with. But anyway, we report them, and hopefully they don't come back. But again, thank you for being followers of this channel. Thank you for the thumbs ups already, 110 and counting. Appreciate it. And thank you for being members. I really, really love it. Okay. Cruising and trading, says Christina. I'm on a cruise ship and I'm trading on my options. This is the thing about this option writing thing that I haven't even covered. You do not have to be sitting at home in front of your computer or your laptop or whatever to do this, to follow me or to write and buy back call options. You can be anywhere. And you can be at your favorite coffee shop, Starbucks. You can go to Costco, do some shopping at Costco, sit down at the food court, grab a hot dog, grab your pop, and check the markets and trade while you're chomping your $1.50 Costco hot dog. It doesn't matter. You can be on a cruise ship like Christina is. You can be in Zermatt, Switzerland, and do this channel from there like I am. It doesn't matter where you are. As long as you have internet connection or a cell phone connection, you can trade your options and you can stay on top of them. You are not chained to a desk. I remember about 20 some odd years ago, 30 years ago, there used to be day trading centers that popped up all over North America, Canada, the USA, where people would drive their cars to a strip mall location, go into a store at this front location, and it would be filled with cubicles. And they would be sitting in a cubicle on an office chair in front of a bunch of computer screens, and they would day trade stock. And they would get their butts handed to them because they were competing with some of the worst, most incredible pro traders ever imagined. And they were getting their butts handed to them because they couldn't figure out how to make money playing the stock market. They thought they could, but they couldn't. But they had to go into that center every time to do their trading. They couldn't do it remotely. Well, now you can day trade stock if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it. I say, why don't you just write options and take the depreciation of these contracts and take the money and say, thank you, sir. May I have another? Let's keep this going. Thank you all so much. I love it. Anyway, this is so much fun. Welcome all. Hi, Uncle Bruce. So you stayed in Zermatt like the members of the G7. I stayed in Zermatt. It's so nice. We definitely stayed here. Christina just joined. You haven't had trolls in a while. Means you're doing something right. Christina, I'll be on the private island of Coco Cay. Oh, you got to love this. Larry has rung the bells. We're open. We're trading now. We're up and running. The day has begun, and I welcome you all to today's session. Let's keep an eye on how things are going and see how the market's going to go for us. We do have a down opening to start the day, as we expected we would. I had kind of figured we would get a down opening. We're off 442 points on the Dow at the moment, and we'll see how far and how long it wants to do that. There we go. We've got S&P down 60 points, Nasdaq down 187. And we got oil down 352. That's really the good news of the day. Oil down 352 a barrel at 104.91. The Dow is off 1.5%, Nasdaq 1.68, the S&P down 1.58. Thank you. Beach Boy is saying, Christina, do you have a place in your carry-on? I'm on the way. Christina, let's go, Beach Boy. Bama Babe, thank you, Larry, for hitting the bells and getting us started today. Welcome one, welcome all to the show today. Glad to have you here. Let's see if we can make some money today on this market, because it is definitely available. 120 thumbs ups have come in. Thank you, everybody. Keep them coming in if you can. Let me know what number you are. That would be terrific. I appreciate these thumbs ups so very, very much. We've got more commentary coming in here. Cindy B, hi all. I'm number 98, Beach Boy. I do hope GameStop dips nicely for a stinky bid to catch. We are showing GameStop right now, 120.67 down, 275 to start the morning. Now 119.64 down 378. So we've got a little bit of red coming in on the GameStop. I know some of you out there are sitting on 125s, 120s, 115s, 110 contracts. The more the stock backs off, the further the contracts die. We only have 4 days this week. Friday's coming up in only 4 days. So these contracts are going to depreciate pretty quickly if they're at or near the money here. Chase is thumbs up, 122. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate number 122. Fabulous. Watching a few other stocks, I show Cisco down $1 right now to 41.22. I got the Dow off 500 points. I got Matterport off 9.5 cents. SmartRent down 15 cents. Tesla's off $21 to 660. SoFi down 19 to 522. GameStop is off, like I said, 309 right now, 120.33. Spire down 1 penny. Apple down 183 to 137.10. AMC off 26 cents. ATIP down a nickel, Rocket Lab down 9, Cyxtera down 39. We've got ME showing a loss of 7 cents. Pfizer down 76 to 51.55. HPQ down 111 to 30.76. Twitter down to 37.64. I don't know what Musk is going to do with it. Home Depot down 116 to 277.92. Robinhood off 36 cents to 7.82. Vanex Semiconductors down 547 to 190. 190.52. IBM down 219 only at 138.93. It really is reluctant to give up ground, but it's off a little bit. Microsoft down 471 to 254.87. We got Goldman Sachs down 883 to 290.40. We've got Meta, which is the old Facebook, down 214 to 157.89. Amazon down 271, 106.85. Google down $48 to 2,133 a share. Bed Bath Beyond down to $4.55, down 16 cents. BlackBerry off 11 to 5.34. Royal Caribbean down $2 to 33.28. The cruise sector getting hit again. All cruise lines are off. Target down 54. JP Morgan down 3.12 a share. Costco up 4.30. Walmart up 31. Nvidia down $3 to 142. Disney at $93, down 241. Over at American Airlines down 44 cents right after the July 4th heavy weekend. $12.69 a share on American Airlines. Netflix $174.94, down $5. Moderna down 80 cents. And so it's a sea of red this morning to start things off. The Dow right now off 498, And we got S&P down 60, NASDAQ down 201, with oil down 350 a barrel. That is where we're at to start the day, and we're going to see how this goes. WD is number 52 on the thumbs up meter. Thanks, pal. Options Nomads. We had a great meeting with Uncle Bruce yesterday. His personalized insights and encouragement are invaluable. Thanks, guys, for those kind words. We did have a wonderful session, and it's just great getting together with you guys, all of you out there. Whenever you do order up a one-on-one with me, it gives me a chance to figure out where you're at and where have you been, where are you at now, and where you could be headed. And it helps me to understand, what your thinking is, and you can help me figure out how to help you tailor make your next move or things to be aware of. Just to give you some heads ups on what I see from my perspective. I get heads ups to figure out where you're at from yours, and away we go. It just makes it that much better, and it allows you to become, I hope, far more focused and lasered in on what it is you're going to do on your option writing strategy. And 500-point drops used to be a disaster for everybody on this channel. There was a time when I started doing what I do now, January, over a year ago, when we were talking about all the meme stocks, all the other stocks out there, and all I talked about was what the Dow was doing and the market was doing and what it meant. And 98, 99% of you that were here you'd buy stock and you'd sell it. You'd buy something at this price and sell it at this price. The problem was you never knew when to sell. None of you knew when to sell stock because you had no idea, when should I take a profit? How do I know when the right time is to sell? Until I started bringing up options, and I started bringing up the idea of writing options in earnest, probably last year, May, maybe April or May. And by the time July rolled around a year ago, we started talking about, and I brought out lessons on how options are written, how they trade, how they depreciate, how they're created, who creates them, why they create them, and how it could work for individual investors out of the comfort of their own homes or not, whether you want to be at home doing this or not. And we took it forward and forward and forward, and more of you reacted very positively to it. You began to get results, and you were begging for more info, and I just kept providing it. And it's now been over a year of option writing strategies, going through all the basics, and really, it's incredibly conservative. This is a very conservative investment strategy, the writing of options against a position of stock or other options that you have. This is not high risk, pie in the sky, hope for the home run ball type of investing. This is rather conservative. For some of you for many people who've left this channel, because there's been a lot of turnover here in the last year, because when this channel started, everybody was looking to become a millionaire overnight. Those folks have left. Sometimes it's kind of boring. It's just too unexciting to make money. But I got to tell you something. When you have written options on a stock, whether you've written one contract or 5 or 15 or 30 or whatever the number is, and a stock that you've written an option on doesn't perform like the gamblers thought, it would just go straight up. It just stays level, or it even dips a little. There is no better feeling than being an option writer, watching these option premiums drop, the price of these contracts get lower and lower because you've already sold your contract. That's the first thing you got to do when you're an option writer. You got to sell first. And there is no better feeling to have written a call on a GameStop at, say, $10 a contract, and watch it at $7 and then $6.75 and $6.50, and you're just watching it drop, drop, drop. And if you've written 5 contracts, every time it drops $1, you're $500 richer. You've written one contract, it drops $1, you're $100 richer. If you've written 20 contracts of Hewlett Packard, HPQ, and you received $1.50 for them, you brought in $3,000, and they dropped by 50%, you've made $1,500 in 3 days. There is no better feeling knowing that this kind of profit is coming your way. And you're in control whenever you want to cash in your ticket. You're holding a winning lottery ticket. It just gets bigger and bigger the more the stock drops, and you can decide when to cash it in. It's totally your call. No one is forcing you ever to get out of a position. It's up to you to decide when you want to do it. There is no better feeling than that. And with the market off 542 points, we've got stocks down here. Obviously, GameStop now down 385. That means every in the money contract that GameStop has issued, that's been issued on GameStop, is off at 385 loss. Each contract is $385 less valuable, which means those of you who've written them are going to pay $385 less per contract on a book value basis just this morning already. And like I said, there are millions of option gamblers, but there are only thousands of option writers. Of all the people who play the options market, out of all the millions of them, less than 5%, if even less than 2%, are actually option writers. And that's where we are. We are the absolute minority of the stock market as a whole. If this channel talked to you only about buying contracts and selling contracts, buying contracts, selling contracts, I'd have a bigger audience. But I would have an audience that would be in real trouble many times, because options have a way of losing value depending on what stock we're talking about and how little time they have left. It's a frustrating experience talking about options if you're buying to sell. On this side of the market, we're the opposite. We are the sellers first, buyers later. We take the cash up front and we give some cash back, but it's much less than what we get in. And this is where we constantly have winners on this channel, again and again and again. And it can be intraday winners, where options are sold in the first hour of trading and they're bought back later today. It can be weekly traders, where people write options on Tuesdays and buy them back the next Tuesday. And it can be monthlies. It doesn't matter. It ranges from minutes to hours to days to weeks to months. Up to you how comfortable you are with what you're doing. And this is what we're about here. And I welcome you to the channel. It's great to have you here. Tiff, I should have written a covered call on HPQ last Friday. Didn't do it. It's just the way it is. Sometimes markets open lower and then they go higher. Other times they open higher and then they go lower. You just never know. I've got the Dow off 539. I've got S&P off as well. Let's see. The red on the S&P is 68 points and the NASDAQ down 187. All three markets are off 1.69 to 1.79% each. They're almost all identical. So about 1 3/4%, they're all off right now. Matterport is down only 6 cents. Cisco's off 119. Smart Rent down 23 cents. Tesla off $20. SoFi down 19 cents to 522. GameStop 120.20. The low of the day 119.23 on GameStop. The high of 122 a share on GameStop. So we're pretty tight. $2-3 range really is all we got here so far this morning on GameStop. Other shares we're following: Spire down 3.5 cents, Apple down 136 to 137.57, AMC down 34, ATIP down 8, Rocket Lab down 13, Cyxtera down 34, ME down a nickel, Pfizer down $1 today to 51.31. That means all options on Pfizer have also dropped. That stock is almost off 2% today, and this means contracts are really getting hammered. The 52s are out of the money. Now the 51s might be out of the money. The 50s are only 134 in the money. This is having an effect on options, and anyone writing options on Pfizer is going, yeah, and we're in a short week too. On this Friday, contracts are expiring between now and this Friday dramatically, and next Friday as well. HPQ down 147 to 30.40, which means, okay, you find that the stock's at 30.40, you may not want to write a call here. On the other hand, it might be a good day to buy HPQ today at 30.40. Or if you're a poor man covered call option writer, you might be looking at buying $20 to $25 call options on HPQ that are good for 3, 6, 9 months each and look to write on those. That might be your strategy. Twitter down 61 to 37.62. HD Home Depot down 262 right now. We've got Vanik down 477, IBM down 267, Microsoft off 453, Goldman down 969. All of these stocks that are backing off today could be buy candidates depending on just how you're going to look at them, whether you're going to buy the shares and accumulate more while they're cheap if you have cash available, or whether you're going to buy deep in the money call options on stocks that have dropped in price. You want to look at the low of the year, the 52-week low on these stocks, and just see how close are they to the 52-week low. You buy below that low and go long on call options, good for 6 months, a year out. Try to buy them where at least 90% of what you're paying for the contract is actual book value and not a time premium. To learn this, go to my classes, check out, I think it's lesson number 8, how to write poor man covered calls. You've got to learn the strategies of how it's done, but it's an investment in yourself. So decide how you want to do it. By the by, I just want to mention something else. I did notice this weekend, because I had this great meeting with our friends here at Option Nomads. We had our session, and I actually mentioned it to them on the session about how we spent a little over an hour together yesterday on my channel here privately, and it was a $400 cost, which they've done before. But I noticed a promotion that came across my computer that the Nigerian brothers, the two Nigerians that are on CNBC all the time, these are the option guys. They always talk about the hot option trades that are going on and unusual activity. They're having a get-together. I think it's in Dallas. They're doing a conference in Dallas, and they're inviting all their fans to come on down there and catch up with them. And they're doing it, I think, at a Four Seasons hotel. This is a free ad for these guys. They're doing it at a Four Seasons, but you got to pay for your own flight, got to pay for your own hotel room, so your own meals. But you can join these guys and 8 other guests for I think it's 2 nights and 3 days of seminars and stuff, all about options. And I think it's all about buying options to sell options, like it's going along. And they're offering a $600 or $700 or $800 discount if you buy a ticket now. And the ticket for 3 days, I think, is costing you $2,700. So it's $900 a day to attend the conference that they're running for the 3 days, or however many days you want to be there for, 1, 2, or 3. And I think you're guaranteed a meet and greet session with the Nigerians, and there might be a presentation by them at this thing. And then the other 8 guests are also doing presentations. So if you want to learn about how to buy options to sell options, you can spend $2,700 and fly to Dallas and get the hotel. So you're probably into it for, what, $4,000 by the time it's all said and done? I don't know. Depends how far away you are, I suppose, and what kind of room you're getting. I don't know. Maybe you can get away with it for $3,200. I don't know. But for $2,700 to $4,000, you can learn all about how to buy options. I thought about that, and I thought, well, what you could do is you could watch some of my classes for $100 each, whenever you want, and watch them again and again and again. Or you could then contact me through an email and say, "Hey, Bruce, listen, I want to get together with you for a one-on-one. Here's the address. I'll just send you an email. I'll spend $400 and get an hour with you, just us, and you can talk to just me about my situation for an hour, rather than me paying maybe $4,000 to fly to Dallas and be with I don't know how many other thousands of people to maybe see these guys and get an autograph. Like I'm not going to get 15 minutes with these guys. I don't know how this is going to work, but up to you. Whatever you think is worth your money. I could meet you in Dallas, I suppose. I could do a session in Dallas, maybe, where Jen and I will fly to Dallas and we'll do a meet and greet, and I'll charge you guys $2,500 to come and see me for an hour. No, I don't think I'll do that. No, I don't think so. I think I'll do it this way. I'd rather sit in Zermatt and talk to you one-on-one, and then I'll do it from Zurich, or I'll do it from Calgary, or wherever we're located, and then you could just stay at home, and I'll be wherever I am, and then it'll only cost you the $400, and you won't have to pay for hotels and flights and all that stuff. And, well, we'll see what's going on. Okay, there you go. There's the deal. Let's see what happens. Thank you, everybody. What else is going on? Can anyone answer this one question for me? Do I need some extra cash in the portfolio to write options, or is it enough to have only 100 units of Matterport, for example? You should be able to write a contract if you have 100 shares. You should be able to write a contract. Let's see. Alberto Esplera, on my larger valued contracts, Boeing, GameStop, I usually keep an extra several dollars so that I can sell if I need extra money to buy back. Tiff, only the cash for the fees if you have fees, and you might need cash to roll. To write your covered call, Splair, you require 0 cash and 100 shares. Practically speaking, it's nice to have more cash to potentially buy back in case you need to. I keep an extra 20 or more of the shares of that stock, says Alberto. JL is thumbs up 37. Splair, okay, so when I was planning to send enough cash for 110 units, this won't be enough probably, because otherwise I would send $100 extras and save already 15 euros for unnecessary deposits. Alberto, example, GameStop. I keep an extra 75 shares, so I write 2 covered calls, and if I need to roll and I need the cash, I'll sell the number of shares needed to cover the rollover. I can play that game too. And thanks for the fast answer, Bagel Family. I think the buying back I will have to learn in step 3 instead of step 4, but I will hate myself to miss out on that bargain in September, October, and later when I'm at work for a while. Alex Bruce, a January 23 HPQ call, $20 strike cost, $1,112. Is that a good deal for a poor man covered call? Let's go. HPQ is trading at 30.23 right now. To buy a $20 strike call for $1,120, I don't mind that price at all. Really, I don't mind that deal. It's a January 2023 contract. So you've got 5, 6, 7 months, 5, 6 months, $1,120. Okay, if you can get a February or March or April or May or next July, if you can get one of those for around this, even better. But a $20 strike, I like the idea of a $20 strike. Duncan, Alex, HPQ, not my friend right now. Mirko, Alex, only 80 cents time premium seems pretty good. There you go. The lower you can keep the time premium, the better. The longer the contract, the better. So if you can get a contract that is next summer and you can get it for, 90% of the price of the contract is value, book value, 10% or less is time, ideal. That's ideal. Now, you may or may not be able to get that on HPQ at this moment because the shares are off 170 today and the contracts may not have dropped enough. But if you put in the stink bid to buy a $20 HPQ for $11, $10.90, good for next year. You can get that contract. That's a good price. You get more than one, even better, because now you can write a contract for every contract you buy, depending on how much capital you have, obviously. There you go. Buying a contract for $1,120, that's $1,120 investment. So for only $1,120, you can write a contract against that contract. Hey, if you're making $100 a month profit writing a call against this call, you're making $100 on an $1,100 investment every month. That's good money. Do that 12 times a year. You're bringing in $1,200 on an $1,100 investment. That's 100% on your money. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. Yeah, not bad at all. There you go. And that's just one. Testy Donkey, my HPQ long 2024 is down $80 today, but I just made $50 with the covered call I sold. I'm doing it, Uncle Bruce. I'm doing it. There you go. So yes, there are times where stock will drop faster than your premiums will come down, but you are getting compensated for the drop with this transaction. You see the stock pop a little bit, you'll write again. You'll write another contract. You'll make another $50, $60. You're going to keep doing these rollovers, these constant writing of contracts that will more than make up for these dips because the stocks fluctuate all the time. Way to go, Testy Donkey. You are doing it. Way to go. Congratulations. Nicely done. It's how you start. It's how you start. We're down 581 on the Dow. We're down 99 on Cisco. Matterport's off a nickel, only a nickel. SmartRent's only off 7 cents. Tesla's still down $30. SoFi down 21 to 520. We got GameStop only down 309. It just won't drop anymore. It's at 120.33 right now. Spire 120 and a half, down 3.5 cents. Apple down only 78 cents, coming on a bit. So Apple 140s to write, or 141s or 142s might be writable for this Friday or next Friday. Look into that. What else we got going on? AMC down 38, ATIP down 7.5, Rocket Lab down 16, Sextera down 48, ME unchanged. Let's come back to unchanged. Pfizer down 114 to 51.18. Those calls are dropping today. HPQ down 166. They're dropping as well at 30.21 a share. So today, if you're going to write calls for HPQ, you might be writing 32s for this Friday. Maybe 31 and a halves for this Friday. If you can get a big enough premium, even if you wrote 30s for this Friday, if you can get enough of a premium to compensate you, if you can get, I don't know, $1.20 for that call, I don't know what they're trading at, I'm just guessing, might be worth your while to look into it. On the other hand, writing an HPQ for 32 for next Friday, or a 33 for the Friday after that, going further out in time, you're getting a higher premium for the length of the contract, and yet you can write out of the money, might be the way to go. All right. What do we got? IBM down 266. Microsoft still down 346. Goldman down $10 today. Goldman 250 calls might be the calls to buy. Goldman 240 deep in the money calls into next year might be the calls to get. Meta Platforms down 262. Amazon down 129, trading 108.27. Buying $90 calls, $80 calls, anywhere in there might be the call to buy. Then to write options against those on Amazon might be the way to go. Okay, everybody, welcome to the show. We're now down 616 points on the Dow. We're down 78 on S&P, and we're down 198 on NASDAQ. And NASDAQ is the best performer, only down 1.75%. Oil getting hit nicely, down $5.98 a barrel. This is really good news, and I'm surprised the market is down. We're down 606 on oil at 102.37. This is fantastic, because if you get this kind of movement for a few days and get into the 90s, your gasoline prices are going to drop 50 cents to $1 a gallon quickly, which improves the inflation outlook for everybody, because it drops pressure on inflation and improves bottom lines of corporations across the board. Very interesting to watch this action this morning on oil. That is really interesting to see this kind of drop on the oil price. Cindy, Alex, you could buy a January 24/20 for around 11.70. Alex, okay, I just got filled for February 23rd, not January, $20 strike for 10.91. That's a buy. That's a really good buy. Cheers, Cindy, Mirko, and Bruce. Well done, Alex. Now you've got the weapon you need to write a call against it. And your cost to do it is $1,091. So here we go. Whether you're pulling in 50 cents a month, $1 a month, $2 a month, all depends how active you are in writing, how frequent you're going to write contracts. Now you can write a call against that call. Nice. The 20s. Oh, wow. That's a good deal. That's a good price. Dow's off 592 right now. That's what I'm looking at the moment. Let's see. HP stock falls after downgrade. Analyst warns of more severe consequences. We'll see about that. This stock, HPQ, now into the 30 range, is so cheap. It's trading at right now 5.6 times estimated earnings. I don't see a lot of downside here. But, the 52-week low of 26, that's why buying a 20 is a great idea. I like the protection on this. It also has a yield, a dividend yield of 3.1%, and it's a buybacker of stock. They buy back their own stock. So I don't have any problems with this at all. Let's see here. Tiff, Uncle Bruce, the euro dropped 1 cent compared to the dollar today. It did. Shouldn't this ease inflation in the U.S.? It might, but it's going to compound inflation in Europe, which means prices back to the U.S. might go higher because they're higher here. It's one of these
damned if you do, damned if you don't. It makes it cheaper for Americans to come here for a holiday. That's for darn sure. Alberto, BA Stinky hit a 285, sold, bought back at 55. Stinky. Sold at 285, bought at 55. Now let's see if my GameStop hits. That's beautiful, Alberto. Beautifully done. I love it. And I think you sent me a donate. You did. You sent me a PayPal donation in celebration of that move. Thank you, sir, so very, very much. Really appreciate it. Bama Babe, everyone's making money. Let's go. Mirko, Alex, now you could write a $31 strike, and it's mathematically impossible to lose money on that deal. Well done, in my opinion. Testy Donkey, I could find a way. Mirko, Adventures with Duncan. Good morning, Alberta. How's it going? I'm listening from Costa Rica. Right on, Duncan. Way to go, pal. Thanks for joining us. We are watching this market right now. The Dow off 615. Cisco down $1.10 to 41.12. Picking up Cisco 30s, 31s, 32s, 33s. Any of those calls might be a really good idea for poor man covered call option writing. Any of those Ciscos. If you can get them cheap enough out to next year, that's the contract you want to use to write Cisco calls. Down 615 on the Dow. Today is buy day on some of these deals. Unbelievable. SoFi at 517 down 24. GameStop 119.82 down 360. The low today 119.23 if I am correct. 119.01 is the new low on GameStop. So GameStop under 119.01 would be a new low of the day. Apple down 19 cents, not giving up much ground here. It just refusing to do so. Interesting on how the Dow is off 600 almost, but the Nasdaq is not down as much as the Dow because of Apple. I think that's the reason Apple is such a powerful stock on that index. If it doesn't go lower than what the Dow is doing, then Nasdaq won't be as bad off. Interesting how this is working. On IBM down 277, Microsoft only down 288 as well. It's not giving up ground. That's holding up Nasdaq a little bit as well. Interesting. We'll watch how this progresses as the day goes on. Down 593 on the Dow Jones. Cool stuff. Alberto, Duncan, wow, from Costa Rica. Enjoy your vacation, my friend. Duncan, CCL, 835 a share. Duncan, gracias. Right on, man. Fantastic stuff. I love it. I've got viewers from Florida that go to Costa Rica that watch me, and I'm in Zurich. I'm in Zermatt, Switzerland, and we're heading back to Canada in a couple of weeks. And it's just global. It's unbelievable. Doesn't matter where you are. You can do this option writing from anywhere. And on days like today, you can make a ton of money because it's being handed to you by these contracts that are shrinking out in value. Very good. Thumbs up number 148. Thanks, pal, for being here. As always, thank you so much for these thumbs ups. Everybody from wherever you are, I appreciate these thumbs ups. It really helps the show's momentum, okay? Thank you, guys. Never a dull moment in the markets. Okay, what else is going on here? Nazareth, Uncle Bruce is worldwide. There you go. We are around the world. It is amazing. 584 drop on the Dow. GameStop 120.10 down 332. All right. Alex Merkel, thanks. I'll look at that. Gonna wait a while and see if I have a little uptick to write that intro. Wavy Gravy, good morning, Bagel family. I'm short on time this morning, but I have a tax question. Oh, I don't know if I can answer it. I'll do the best I can, but I'm not a tax man. But fire away. Let me know. We'll see if someone else can help you. If not me, maybe someone else. Pardon me. We've got, by the way, we've got the bond markets really dropping here. We got the U.S. 10-year at 2.81. The U.S. 10-year is 2.81. The German is 1.2. The Italy is 3.19. That's down from, over 4% earlier. And we got UK at 2.07. Yes, it's true on currencies. The euro is at 102.65. It was 105 a week and a half ago. The pound 119.59. 119.59. The pound 2 months ago was 130. Wouldn't go under it. Then it wouldn't go under 122, 123. Now it's 119.59. Currencies are getting hit against the U.S. dollar. European markets are all off 2.5% each. And the US market right now down 2% and 2.1% on the Dow and S&P. The NASDAQ 184 on the downside. Oil down 542 a barrel to 103. We're off almost 5% today on oil. Recession fears are kicking in. This is what it's all about. Recession fears. The worry is that if the economies of the world slow down too much, oil needs will drop as well. And we only need a 1% drop in oil. GME hit. Let's go. Time to write again, says Alberto. Thanks, Alberto, for the donation, because his GameStop stink bid hit. He made money again. He's sending me a donation. I love this guy. I wish everybody would do this. Thank you so much. Making money. Every time oil backs off in demand, the price will plummet, because we haven't had an oil shortage at all anywhere. And now with recession fears possibly popping up, we might be off 3-4% on oil demand. That is way too much. That would be an unmitigated disaster. That would be like 4 or 5 million barrels a day of oil not needed. And the pipeline can't store 4 or 5 million barrels a day after 5 or 10 straight days of this. And we're talking like 6 months of a slowdown. We may have ourselves 300 million barrels of oil, too much, with nowhere to go. And all of a sudden, you've got to shut in production. You've got to cut back movement of oil. You are going to drop the price to the 60s in no time, which would take oil to $2.50 to $3 a gallon in no time in the US, just to give you an idea of how dramatic that would be. That would be good for the markets, because, of course, everything moves with oil and gas, everything. And so bad for Russia, bad for Saudi Arabia, bad for Iran, bad for other countries that are not maybe necessarily friends of the Western world. Is that such a bad thing, really? I wonder, is that really so bad? I wonder. We'll see. Wow, what a morning. What a morning we got going here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Let's see. Wavy Gravy, good morning. I have a tax question. I'm waiting for that. Tiff, I'm also waiting for an uptick on HPQ. It dropped so much over the last couple of weeks. Triple Dog Dare, welcome. New question. Trying my hand at a poor man covered call for the first time on Fidelity. Okay, I bought my HPQ February, but I don't see a sell to open option on it. Can anyone tell me how I write on it now? Does anyone know the Fidelity system? That's a system question that I might not be able to help on, because I don't trade on Fidelity. I don't trade at all. LL is number 150. Thank you so much. Let's see. Alex, that counts as a good thing. Bruce, we need a right into strength icon. Wavy Gravy, question. I got assigned last month, June the 6th, on my $95 call, sold my 100 shares. As of tomorrow, 30 days, am I free to buy back those 100 and claim my losses? Does anyone know the rule on that? That would be a wash trade question. Alberto, GameStop hit $8. Sell, bought back at 325. Stink bids saves lives. Beautiful job, Alberto. John Anderson, you need 31 days. Alberto, time for a pop. Need to write, says the contract junkie. Uncle, you are the effing goat. Thanks. Thanks, buddy. I love it when these guys make money. I do. Michael, have to be on margin to write poor man covered calls. That might be the issue. Not your daddy's SoFi. Is it your collateral? Is it your collateral now? Just sell the one you want. There shouldn't be a button. Nazareth, Wavy Gravy. After 30 days, you can buy back and not enact the wash rule. That's what you want to know. You might want to wait 2 or 3 more days to be on the safe side, just to be over that line significantly and then go. That might be the answer to the question there. We're down 619 on the Dow. GameStop 119.83. Down 359. This is the one to watch. If GameStop pops to 122, 123, 24, you're right at 125 for this Friday or next Friday. backs off to 117, 118, buy it back. There's easy money to be made here. Let's see. We've got HPQ right now, 30.22, still down 166. The low of the day, 30.02. We're now 30.24. A little better, not a lot, but keep an eye on that one. Pfizer, 51.18, down $1.13. The low of the day, 51.01 today. That's having an interesting day. Over on IBM, down 369, Microsoft down 311, Goldman down 842, Amazon down only 38 cents. That's coming back. Amazon wants to go to 110, 112. You might write 113 to 115s for this Friday, or 115 to 16s, 117s for next Friday. You might want to do that. Look for a dip, buy them back. Thank you very much. Rinse and repeat. Oh, it's so good making money. It's so good to make money. Writing options, kids. Do not fear the upside. Do not fear it. Interesting. 40.99 on Cisco. Down 123. Wow. What can I say? All right. Let's go. We've got everything there covered. Wavy gravy and Nazareth coming that. We're down 572 on the Dow right now. And GameStop 189, SoFi 523, down 18 cents. There you go. That is our story at this moment, and we're sticking to it. We're down 69 on S&P, down 153 on NASDAQ. The NASDAQ's only down 1.38%. I say only, whereas the Dow's down 1.86. It was down over 2%. So we've had a bit of a rally here, ever so, slight. How much and then lower? It could be. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Maybe we get a 200-300 point recovery. You get some stocks moving up a little bit, write new calls, and then wait for the afternoon, slump again, buy them back, make some more money. There you have it. Okay. Let's go. Wavy Gravy said, John, and as okay, great. Thank you. I've been waiting on GameStop price to fall. So it was worth my time to try to not enact that wash rule. So, you might wait a little longer for that. Stock, would be nice if it came down to where you'd like it to come down to. Just got to wait this out. You might find that the stock, goes to 115 and you buy a deep in the money call instead, or two. Instead of buying 100 shares, you buy 2 calls and now write 2 calls against the 2 calls, increasing your revenue from options. You might play that game. I don't know. Wavy, we'll just, watch minute to minute, day to day, hour to hour, whatever it takes. 120.39 on GameStop, down 303. The low of the day looks like 119.01. Yep, the high 122 today is where we've been on this stock. Okay. Michael, margin and level 3 options are needed on Fidelity, I believe. Triple dog there. Thanks. I normally click on my position and sell to open right, but I don't see anything like that on this call. John is thumbs up. Check that triple dog dare. Make sure you're on you got a margin account going, and then check for what these guys are saying about how to do it. Keep us posted. Hopefully that'll work out for you. We're down 540 on the Dow. Matterport unchanged. Smart Rent up 2.5 cents. We actually have a green stock. We've got 1 penny gained on Apple, 138.94. We're up 3 cents on ME, 263. Holy moly. Carvana up 35 cents. Meta Platforms, the old Facebook, up 91 cents. Amazon up 40. Got a little mixture, a little bit of green showing kind of here and there. Snowflake up $6. DraftKings up 12. Moderna up 734 to 157. Workday up 99. Dash up 290. DQ, I think you are into that Moderna. What option have you written on Moderna, DQ? Let me know. I'm curious to see how you're doing on that, because I believe you're long now and you're writing. Let me know if you can. Where are we at now? GameStop 121.09, down 233. Wavy, yeah. So I sold my 95 original for $13. The stock took off that day to 150. The worst cover call I've written. But as time will have it, it's finally coming back to exactly. And you got 95 plus the 13, so you got paid 108. And under 108, you're ahead on this deal, and it's now at 120. You're only 12 out. You're only 12 out from being at 150 all the way to 120. So yes, sir, Keep an eye on this one. You know what you need to do. You see it at 105, pick it up at 105 and write a 110, and away we go again. Absolutely, that can be done too. The market down 556 for the Dow Jones. Matterport up a penny. Smart Rent up 1.5 pennies. Tesla down 23 instead of down 30. SoFi only down 9 cents to 532. It actually is only down 9 cents. The high today, 535 on SoFi. Volume 5.29 million. It's coming on. A little bit of juice under the SoFi right now. GameStop 121.10 down 232. If it wants to go to 122, 123, 124, you might be a writer. Keep an eye on your GameStop, folks. It might give you another shot today. We've got Apple up 2 pennies right now. Spire only down 2 cents. It's come back from 113 to 122. It's coming back. ATIP down only 6.5. Rocket Lab down a dime. We've got Cyxtera down 53 to 1090. We got ME up 4.5 to 64.5. And we got Pfizer still under the water here at 51.10, down 122. All those contracts are shrinking out. HPQ down 155 to 30.32, giving those of you an opportunity to buy cheap in the money calls. This is the moment. You may want to make a move onto this. Look at writing 32s for this Friday or next Friday. Why not? HD up down 154. Home Depot. Robinhood down 7 to 811. We got Carvana up a little bit. Meta is up 77 cents. Amazon is up 50. Microsoft down 232. IBM down 391. So they're not off that much anymore. Still, the Dow is off 568 right now. All right. And Cisco down 128. We're up 5 on Matterport. Look at that. 5 cents. That's pretty impressive on this day. GameStop 120.63. Waiting to see if it's got any kind of a pop into a high of the day to give you folks an opportunity to write calls. Let's see what happens. Okay. S&P down 68, NASDAQ down 120. That's 1.08% on the NASDAQ, 1.78 down on S&P. Oil still down 535, 542 now at 103.01 a barrel. 103 down 540 on crude. It's got to be all about the idea that we're dealing with a recession talk. That's got to be it for oil to be off as much as it is. Excuse me. Dollar rallying to a 19-year high. That's what's happening, and the euro is coming to parity with the U.S. dollar, and there's a natural gas crisis forming in Europe as we're watching this too. The higher dollar is hurting oil as well. Most interesting what's going on. Just a ton of different things happening in all kinds of different directions. Absolutely amazing. All right. Oil prices lowest finished in almost 2 months on a strong dollar. Fears of a recession. That is the headline coming out on the oil market right now. Now, I wanted to mention something else. I'm not an expert in this area. I've been asked many times, especially early when I started this channel on a daily basis going live. I used to get asked this question a zillion times. But those of you who are regulars, you know that I really don't talk about this topic, but I will a little bit today. It's all about these, the Bitcoin, the Ethereums, all these, the cryptocurrency market, the whole cryptocurrency thingy. What I've noticed, obviously as of you, in the last now several weeks and the last month, there is a real problem there. It isn't just that the coins are going down, the values of these things are going down. There's a liquidity problem. And this is the nightmare scenario for cryptocurrency holders. If you need money to pay a bill, you've got a cash call got to come up with. You got to come up with money now, and you've lost the ability to cash in your cryptocurrencies because your dealer won't allow you to do it. You got yourself a problem because you don't have a position that you're down 5 or 10 or 20 or 50% on. you got a position that's worth effectively nothing, because if it is illiquid, you can't turn it into dough. And this is what's happened to a lot of people globally who thought for sure that the answer to currency fluctuations and the tax man and confidential transactions, they thought that the crypto market was the place to hide your money. Cryptocurrencies were rising in value all last year, the year before that. It was easy returns, great returns, and there was liquidity everywhere. Heck, there were even vending machines showing up in certain places where you could buy and sell crypto. All of a sudden, we're finding that the crypto market is becoming illiquid in many, many areas, and it might get a lot worse. And what I wonder about is the after effect of that. What I'm worried about is not the fact that just crypto is having a problem. It might affect many other, the overall economy. And I was thinking about this going, how many people out there who've been doing well, financially doing very well the last 3, 4, 5 years? They've piled up a bunch of money in crypto. They're making money on real estate that they've purchased or renovated and invested in, renting out homes or flipping homes and what have you. How many people out there are leveraged in several areas at the same time and not just crypto? Talking about stock margin accounts, talking about crypto on margin. I'm talking about crypto lending that they've gotten themselves into, talking about mortgage issues with real estate. And all of a sudden, the house of cards is imploding on everything, because a lot of folks out there who had crypto, they put $5,000 into it over 3 or 4 years ago. It went up to 10, 15, 20 grand in value. They then made a deal to basically put their crypto into an account with company whatever, and they were getting paid 6% interest or 8% interest on their crypto value from this company. What they didn't realize was that they were in effect lending their crypto to this company, and this company now cannot pay back the crypto loan, because for the crypto lender, you had 20 grand worth of crypto and you're getting 8% interest on your 20 grand. Well, as long as the money kept coming in every month, you didn't care. You didn't need the 20,000. You were a happy camper. But when the need arose that you needed 5 grand of your 20,000, or you noticed the crypto value dropping on you, Bitcoin going from 60,000 to 40,000 and lower, you noticed that the interest that was coming in was getting smaller and smaller. The value of your crypto was dropping and dropping, and now you needed money. You now wanted to cash out, and all of a sudden you can't cash out because your borrower, the entity that you lent your crypto to, can't pay you for your crypto. They can't even pay you your interest. They are in effect insolvent, and you've lost everything. You don't even have half your value or a third of your value anymore. You have a zero value because your crypto was in effect liquidated by that entity or invested into crypto, and they can't get out. They're locked out. Now you're locked out, and all the way down the line, down the domino effect, everybody got wiped out. And what I wonder about is in the next, like now to 6 months from now, how many millions of people who've invested in this entity, these entities, because there are dozens of them, hundreds of them, how many have lost everything? And how many billions or possibly trillions are we talking about that has evaporated into the crypto thin air? And I wonder how many other assets are being held up and propped up by the value and cash flow from these assets that are no longer coming in anymore. And I'm wondering about the house of cards imploding on itself. Not to mention the fact that interest rates have gone up dramatically, obviously, in the last 2 months and will continue to go higher, which means mortgage rates, which were 2.75% a year ago, are now 5.5% to 6% now could be going to 7 or 8% down the road. How many of those will have to be rolled over because terms come up? The 3-year term is up, and now you got to get the new 3-year term. How many people are going to find that they have to get rid of their real estate because they can't come up with cash to carry the real estate or pay down the real estate or even qualify for a rollover loan going forward because they lost 20%, 30%, 50% of their asset value through the crypto meltdown? I worry about that. All of that came up this last week or so. I've been thinking about it more and more and more, wondering, wow, what a mess. And I've been saying to myself, thank God I only talk to my viewers here about writing call options, stock options on stock. You can write cash secured puts, of course, but you can mainly what we're doing is writing options, call options on shares that we already own. This is the safe place, absolutely the safe place. Completely liquid. It is not pegged on any currency out there. There's no one firm that controls this. It's an insured business, by the way. Brokerage firms are insured. Pretty nice to know that your of stock and the options you're writing on these shares, the cash comes in, the shares are liquid at any time, and you're covered. Compared to what's happening on the crypto thing, it is scary, and I cannot believe it, what's going on out there. Anyway, there's what's going on. I wanted to mention that today, just so you kind of give you an idea what we're talking about here. Thank you, everybody. What's going on here? Let me double check here. I want to make sure I'm on top of everything. Thank you, guys. Here we go. I'm just catching up now. Sell my house up on Marlboro. What HBQ in the money strike would we be looking for? 29, 27 for January or February 23. I would be buying HBQs under 25. I'd be getting HBQ calls that are 25 or at the most 25, but I would really be going 20 to 25. 20s, 21s, 22s are the ones I'd be looking for. Going out at next year, nothing before February if possible. I'd even go further out if you can. So if you can go out next year, April, May, June, July, August, and you can get 20s to 23s, great. That's where I'd be going for. Okay. WS is trying their hardest to get all these former specs under 5. All but the 6 there, that is. Triple Dog. Okay, that was a noob question. I figured it out. Thanks for the help. Splitter, I have Cardano's at 120% plus and at 80%. One spot, 1 month and was high. The other two it pays are in between. Alberto, wavy gravy. That's the hardest part of writing is the coming back part. But as we have learned, we have to cross our arms and wait. Patience, my friend. Splair, long term since 2 years, by the way. Christina, I am looking to write. Wavy gravy. Alberto, it's true. It's been a long, hopeful month waiting to buy more GameStop. GameStop right now is 120.63, I believe. Let me double check here. 120.78. The Dow's down 618. Alberto, wavy gravy. Let's get that moolah. Good work. Right on. Let's get that moolah right now. SoFi down 7 at 534. Tesla still down $23. We're up 5.5 on Smart Rent. We're up 12 cents on Matterport, 374. On the Dow, down 620. This is great. They're doing beautifully. Spire only down a half a penny. We're coming back. Apple down only 16 cents. ATIP down 5 cents. Rocket Lab only off 8.5. ME is up a penny. Pfizer down 132 to 50.99. The 51s are now out of the money. The 52s are out. The 53s are out. This Pfizer is backing up, making option writers happy today. HPQ down 151, 30.36. That puts contracts between 20 and 25 into serious play. And hopefully you can get them super cheap like others are buying them right now. This is great. What else we got here? Home Depot down 210 to 276, putting the 250s to 255s into play, 240s into play for in the money calls to write poor man covered call options. IBM down 440, which means 125s, 120s are in play there. Microsoft down 285, which puts 240s 230s to 240s in play there. Goldman 291 down 8. We're looking at 250s, 260s, something like that. To write poor man covered calls. Amazon 110. I'd be looking at 90s, 95s, 85, something in there. To write poor man covered calls on those. NVIDIA 144. I'd be looking at 120s, 125s on NVIDIA. Who else we got? It's 1288 down 24 cents. Netflix 177 a share. Oh my gosh. I'd be looking at 150s to write calls on Netflix if I were going to do that, poor man covered calls. What do we got? Moderna 157 up 740. I'd be looking to buy 140s, 130s to write poor man covered calls on those. That's what we got right now on that market. Let's go. What else is happening? Let's get that. Mula says Alberto. I couldn't agree more. The market, the Dow's down 561. GameStop 120.84. Looking for any kind of a pop to write calls on it. See how it goes. SoFi down 7. Smart run up 4.5. Matterport up 11. The gold market, oil market down 536 on oil. 103.07 right here. Definitely getting hit. Even gold is off 29.90. It's the miners are getting hit there too, of course. There you have it. There's the first 2 hours of our day right now. And there's money in them there hills. Cheap calls to get to be able to write poor man covered. Then look for any kind of strength and write calls and make some money. Absolutely get your fair share. I'll be back on later today at 3 o'clock Eastern time. We'll cover the final hour together, see how things go on that. In the meantime, you guys keep up your efforts, doing what you're doing, keeping an eye on those markets, and taking these premiums every time they want to hand it to you. What's your suggestion for an Apple covered call? Well, it's 138.43 down 50. So if you own stock or you already have an in the money call, if you don't have a call, I'd be looking at 120s, 115s, 110s to get in the money calls. What calls to write? For this Friday, I'd be looking at 140s. For next Friday, I'd be looking at 140s to 142s is what I'd be looking at, just as a starter. Uncle Bruce, no worries of the markets going lower as you speak of poor man covered calls. No, I don't worry about that. You're getting them low enough, so you're nice and protected, and you're writing calls right now to make money on them. Munimo, thanks you for the thumbs ups and smiles. John, thanks everybody. Michael, my suggestion is wait, and there's another option there, another potential. What you want to do, up to you how you want to play it. Apple, as I say, the range on this stock, the low 52-week low 129. We're at 138 right now. So if you're buying 120s, you're buying $9 lower than the low of the last 52 weeks. If you're going to write 140s, see what kind of premiums you can get depending on this week or next week. Up to you. You can always do rollovers if necessary, but you can also, see some pullbacks, $2-3 a share from here. Not be a surprise. It really wouldn't. The question is, how far out do you want to go, and how far out of the money do you want to write? It's up to you. Thank you, everybody. Blair, have a good and lucky trading day, everybody. Thanks, for Michael. I have a stink bid on Apple cover calls for 140 this Friday at 184. There you go. Rock and roll, man. See how it goes. Thank you all for joining me this morning. Appreciate it. We'll be back at 3 this afternoon, and we'll cover the last hour together. Have a great one. I'll see you later today, everybody, and we'll talk to you real soon. Goodbye from Zermatt, Switzerland.